You're listening to 15 Minutes, where we feature community leaders sharing what the rest of us should know but likely don't. Hi, Chad Franson here, one of the hosts of Share Your Voice, where we talk with top-notch law firms and lawyers about what it takes to grow a successful law practice. This episode is brought to you by Gladiator Law Marketing, delivering tailor-made services to help you accomplish your objectives and maximize your growth potential. To have a successful marketing campaign and make sure you're getting the best ROI, your firm needs to have a better website and better content. Gladiator Law Marketing uses artificial intelligence, machine learning, and decades of experience to outperform the competition. To learn more, go to gladiatorlawmarketing.com, where you can schedule a free marketing consultation. Jonathan Breeden is the owner of Breeden Law Offices, which he started in the year 2000. The firm is located in the suburbs of Raleigh, North Carolina, and his firm has represented families in Johnston, Harnett, and Wake counties in North Carolina for the past 23 years. At Breeden Law, their goal is to provide a client-centered approach to family law, which allows their clients to be the heroes of their life stories. Hey, Jonathan, thanks so much for joining me today. How are you?
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. It's been looking forward to this for a couple of weeks now.
Good. Yeah, it's great to have you. So, hey, just tell me a little bit more about Breeden Law and kind of what you guys do and specialize in.
Yeah, the Breeden Law Office is a full-service family law firm here in the suburbs of Raleigh, North Carolina. We do have one of our satellite offices in the downtown Raleigh area. We have offices in Johnston County. We have two offices in Johnston County, including our main office here in Garner at the intersection of I-40 and Highway 42. We also have an office in Smithfield, and we also have an office in Angier in Harnett County. We currently have 5 attorneys and 5 or 6 support staff working with us, and we serve clients in Johnston, Harnett, and Wake County. So for your listeners that aren't familiar, Raleigh is where Wake County is located and has a couple of million people. And then our two of our other primary counties are in the suburbs around Raleigh and smaller suburban counties that have exploded, like a lot of counties around the area. The Raleigh, North Carolina area being the fastest growing area in America. In a lot of surveys, sometimes it's either first or second or third. So there's a lot of young families we're able to help right now. And we do all types of family law: child custody, divorce, equitable distribution of property, post-separation support, alimony, adoptions. We do wills, powers of attorneys, guardianships. If it is for your family, we help people do it every day.
What would you say maybe separates Breeden Law apart from other firms who have, a similar niche?
I think it's our client-centered approach that we really work very hard on the cases that we have. We move the cases to conclusion as fast as possible. We communicate with our clients every single day that they ask to be communicated with. I would bet that 95% of all communications to my office are returned by somebody within 24 hours. And what we found out here is that most law firms are not responsive to their clients as they probably should be. They are woefully understaffed, which we are not. And so they do the best they can, but they're not able to really focus on the client. And, our goal is really to try to answer a question before it's asked. You're not going to come work with the Breeden Law Office and not know what status your case is in, or what's going to happen next, or when your next court date is, or even if your case has been filed. You'd be amazed at the people that come in here that know nothing about what's going on in their case, and they've paid lawyers thousands of dollars because they haven't been communicated with. And so that's really what we try to do. I put all of my staff, I have them listen to podcasts and read things as it relates to Disney. So there are a lot of ex-Disney executives out there with podcasts. I ask my staff to listen to those. I listen to those. I find that the way Disney provides customer service is excellent. And if I can do the same thing for my clients that Disney does for the families that go there, I think I'm doing a good job.
Wow, that's very interesting. I haven't heard that. What made you think of that? The Disney aspect.
The funny thing is, I've not been to Disney since I was in high school. until about 2 years ago. But I have a business coach who helps me out. And at one of the conferences I was at, a former Disney executive came and spoke about how to sort of Disneyfy your practice. And he talked about the things that Disney does to enhance the customer experience that you might not even realize while you're there. From how the cast members dress to how the cast members address you, to little tricks like they have people whose job it is to sit out front of a gift shop and bounce your kid a goofy ball, and so that the kid will bounce it back. That creates an interaction. Then you buy a $25 goofy ball. Also about how Disney is constantly improving itself by getting advice from the people doing the job. Everything can be improved. No process is completely complete. And, that got me to thinking about how could I do that here? How could we better the processes here? What are the little things that we could do here to make the difference that Disney makes that you might not even realize? After that person spoke at this conference I was at in 2020, I then went to Disneyland in 2021, and then I went to Disney World in 2022 and was really amazed at the things I saw, the things I knew to look for, having listened to the speaker. By then, I'd started listening to some of the former Disney executives' podcasts that are out there, and they talk about how Disney does things. And it really was fascinating. I spent as much time watching the interactions and I was very fortunate. I have I have a cousin who works at Disney who took us around a little bit and showed us some of the things that she had been trained to do. So it really is fascinating. But Disney really is focused on the customer experience. And I think 80 or 85% or maybe more people that go to Disney every year have been there before, the repeat customer. And so, I just now think about how can we get, like the outcome in family law is often predetermined a little bit by the decisions that people have made before they get here, right? Whether they drink too much, there's domestic violence, maybe they have a drug problem they haven't been able to handle, financial crises. A lot of things happen, right? Everybody's doing the best they can do, and so the judges are going to make decisions that they think are best. They're going to follow the law, and they're going to make decisions that are best for the children. And the client may not always agree with that. And I can't control what that judge decides. I can't really change the facts, but I can affect how your experience is with my office and with the court system, and that you're getting a good value for the money you're spending. It's a lot of money to hire a divorce lawyer in this area. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. It's a lot of money. I don't care who you are, whether you have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of money, it's a lot of money. And I'm not going to forget that. And if you're here working with us, we're going to make sure you get as good a value for the money you're paying as possible. And you have a good experience, even though the outcome, we'll get you the best outcome we can, but sometimes we can't, we don't control the outcome because we're not the judge.
How and when did you know you wanted to become an attorney?
It's funny. I'm asked that question all the time. I think it was when I was in a ninth grade high school civics class in Laurinburg, North Carolina, at Scotland High School, taught by a teacher who passed away a few months ago, a guy named Spencer Willard. And in the high school civics in North Carolina, part of the curriculum is that you read some of the Federalist Papers, and you study a little bit of the Constitution in that class. And when I read those Federalist Papers and I saw how these English subjects, I guess, saw their country and the government that they wanted and what they didn't like about the king and the oppression that they were suffering from, it was really fascinating, to read about those ideas of the government and so that's when I really thought this is really neat, right? These men put their lives on the line, all of them knowing that they were going to die at the hands of the British by doing what they did, knowing that they probably would lose all of their riches, by attacking the British like they were willing to do, by, what ultimately led to the Declaration of Independence and all of that. And so that really was fascinating to me. And that's when I started thinking that I really maybe want to become a lawyer, was when I was in the ninth grade. And if any of your listeners have not been to Colonial Williamsburg and Williamsburg, Virginia, I would highly recommend it. I go on a regular basis. There are probably 75 buildings that have been rebuilt. Some original buildings I think are still there. They have lots of reenactors who tell the story of the citizens of the time. And it's a fascinating place. And I think everybody should go to Williamsburg, Virginia at least one time.
So once you decide to go into law, there are multiple avenues you can go down. What attracted you to this type of law practice, family law?
I kind of ended up in it, I thought, by accident. But now looking back on it, I think it was really kind of a calling. I went to NC State University. I'm a huge Wolfpack fan. When I got out of NC State, I finished in 3 years. I went to Campbell University's law school, which is now in downtown Raleigh. At the time I went, it was in Bowies Creek, North Carolina, where the main university is. And, I went to that law school because I wanted to start my own law practice. And that law school had the most practical training in North Carolina at the time, and gave a good general overview of the law to all of its students, and had an extremely high bar passage rate. And I thought, well, if I can get through it, I'll probably pass the bar. And if I have a license, maybe I can make a living. And so when I came out, I came right here to this intersection in Johnston County, 15 miles from downtown Raleigh, because it was a fast growing area. And I came out wanting to do criminal defense. I had interned in the DA's office in law school. In high school, I'd interned in the public defender's office back in Scotland County. And being in the DA's office made me realize I did not want to be a prosecutor. I wanted to be a defense attorney. And so I came here and I started doing criminal defense, court-appointed work, but I also started representing families whose children had been put into foster care through the Department of Social Services. And I found that to be more rewarding, working with those parents who had lost their children, often through drug, alcohol abuse, domestic violence, and working with those parents to try to get them vocational skills and the different things that the county and the state could offer to help them get their children back. And I found that to be more rewarding than I found the criminal defense, even though I found the criminal defense to be very rewarding. And being in the suburbs, a lot of young families started showing up needing help. And I was a young attorney who needed work. And so I took a custody case, and then I took a property case, and then I took an alimony case. And I learned a lot from the other attorneys who were willing to help. Very collegial bar out here in the suburbs, friendly, this is Eastern North Carolina, a lot of really nice people. And so, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with the people. I really tried to focus on the children and what the outcome was best for the children, because your client isn't always looking out for the children. Your client's feelings are hurt. They're mad at the other side. They want to get back at them. And they often want to try to use the children as weapons. And that's not good, right? And so I would spend a lot of time saying, well, let's look at what's best for the children. And I still today try to focus on what's best for the children. And as we started to get good outcomes for these children, getting them back out of foster care, back with their parents, fixing it where dads who are not being allowed to see their children for no reason other than the mom was mad that she got left for another woman, getting those dads back in those children's lives, getting some children out of abusive situations into more positive situations. And that's when I really said, okay, this is what I want to do, right? I was just so happy, and I got so much joy watching how these children got better. And then the children would come back by and they would visit me, and I would see them on Facebook, and I would see them at the Little League ballpark playing with my kids, or they would be in my kids' classes, and I would know where they started and I could see where they are. And to know that I had played some small role in helping those children have the best outcome they were going to have or could have was extremely rewarding. And I tell a lot of people that you can do a lot with the God-given talent that I have. But the thing that if you can help a child, there's nothing better. And so that's what I try to focus on now, because family law is hard, right? The facts are hard. The emotions are hard. people are upset, they're stressed. They often take it out on their attorneys, and the attorneys have to be willing to accept some of that if they're going to be in family law. And it's been a really fun and enjoyable time to help children. And now those children, I've been doing this so long at the same intersection that those children have grown up and they have children, and I've gotten to know those children. So I'm just a really big family law kind of guy, and I found my passion in trying to make children's lives better.
That's great. Fantastic. What did you just start your own law firm right after you got out of law school then?
I did.
After you kind of completed all that stuff?
I did. I came right here to what we call 4042, right here in the Cleveland community of Johnston County, right outside of Raleigh. And I started to practice. I didn't have any help. I did it myself for 2 years, and I've been right here. This has been my primary office the whole time. I've had a lot of different associates and paralegals and staff help me over the years. And I've been right here, and I've been growing the business since then. But the business really took off about 4 or 5 years ago when I know you were Gladiator Marketing, and I changed marketing companies, and I got with a very good marketing company. And if you can once you change the number of leads you have, then the rest of it can change too. It's hard. I think it's easier to get the leads to convert them and provide a good service. But once we got with a different marketing company than the one we've been with, things are really took off. And if you're out there and you're an attorney and you're listening to this and you don't have the leads that you think you should have, or you don't know what the leads are, you need to find out, because you can tremendously change the future of your business by marketing the right way in any community in America. I don't care where you are, if it's marketed correctly now with Google.
So what were the early days like when it was just you, and you obviously weren't working with a marketing company, I don't believe. How did you go about getting clients?
Oh my goodness, oh man, that was a long time ago. I did a lot of Chamber of Commerce events. I went to a lot of ribbon cuttings and breakfasts and after hours, and I still go to those things now. I'm not looking for business there now as much as I'm looking to catch up with friends and make people remember I'm not gone. I also bought a small Yellow Page ad, and then within a year of starting out, I developed what was my very first website, which there weren't very many websites back then, and we sort of started to go with that. I was working with Fine Law back then. I don't really work with them anymore, but they were able to help me when I was early on.
And then you mentioned that over the past 4 years, things have really taken off for you. What has been the big difference between marketing companies?
I think getting a website that works the way Google does. SEO is a constant game. And you have to be looking at it or having somebody look at it every week, because the algorithms change. Google changes the rules. They prioritize certain things. They don't prioritize other things. You also have to be creating new content and putting that out there into the world, whether it be video content on YouTube, which Google owns, whether that's blogs, and you also have to focus on your Google My Business page. I don't know if they still call it Google My Business, but I'll always sort of call that, and make sure that page is optimized and it's doing the things you need it to do for you as well. And it's not a single thing when it comes to marketing. I also wrote a book that is also available for download on my website at breedenfirm.com about divorce law in North Carolina, and the way I choose to go about doing that and why I do what I do, which is some of the stuff I've just shared with you. We're shooting videos every month now. We're putting those on YouTube. We've got blogs coming out every month. We have a publicist now who looks for chances for me to answer questions and be quoted in national magazines and national websites like MSN.com and stuff like that. So you really have to look at it from a holistic approach, and it's not one single thing. And when I changed marketing companies, that's what they taught me, and that's what we've done. And so now we get lots and lots and lots of leads, and we have to, figure out how to deal with them.
Oh, that's good. So you've been at it for 23 years now. Is there a moment or a few moments that stand out as like highlights or the times that you're particularly proud of?
I mean, there's been a lot of things to be proud of. You can look at individual cases where, you've got really good outcomes, particularly when you get kids out of really bad situations. We've gotten some kids out of situations where they were being harmed, they were being tortured. So I think about those. As far as the individual cases, we've done some pro bono cases over the years that have been very rewarding, where we've still got one that's still going right now, where the young man had gotten in trouble early in life. He had a child and went to prison. He was selling drugs. He wasn't using drugs. He was selling drugs, but he came out, he got straight, he completed his probation, and the mother, for whatever reason, just didn't want him to see the child. And this was somebody who was a janitor in Alabama, who did not have the money to have an attorney, but he wanted to be in his child's life. And the mother just didn't want him to be in the child's life. And we took that case after being contacted by a father's rights group out of Atlanta in Raleigh. We've had that case for 5 or 6 years now. And that father now has full custody of his son from not being able to see his son at all. Finally, the court got tired of the mother, did not follow the court's order. The court put the mother in jail for violating the order and gave the father custody of his son, and his son has done great. He's now in high school, and he's doing awesome. So, those are the cases, those are the ones that sort of think about that. From a business standpoint, changing from Fine Law back in 2016 to the marketing company we're with now, was a big change. And that, that really did change the direction, because we were able to get a lot more leads and serve a lot more people. And I really feel like the Breeden Law Office does things the right way. I think we're client-centered. We're trying to help people become the hero of their life stories. We meet people where they are, and that's all really important. But now that we have more leads and we can serve more people, I think more people are served correctly. And that's the thing, is that we can help more families and more children because we can reach more people in the way that we choose to do it, which I believe is better than the way other people do it.
I have one more question for you, but tell me how people can find out more then about Breeden Law.
Yeah, they can give us a call at 919-661-4970, or they can reach out to us at breedenfirm.com. That is BREEDENFARM.com, where we have our book. We have you can chat with us on there. You can download our book. You can read all our blogs. That website has over 300 pages and over 100 blogs on it, along with has a link to our YouTube page. You can just search Breeden Law Office on YouTube. There's over 150 videos where I answer just common questions that we get every day. And so that's how you can reach out to us. I'm also on LinkedIn, just Jonathan Breeden on LinkedIn. And of course, everybody's on Facebook, Breeden Law Office on Facebook, and Twitter at Breeden Law NC. I should be able to say this a lot quicker than that, but anyway.
No worries. Sounds good. So last question for you. You talk about people being the hero of their own life story. How did you kind of come up with that vision? And what do you mean by that?
I mean, everybody, I believe, I know I would like to be the hero of my story, right? We all see ourselves as heroes. And maybe we don't always act the best. You know what I mean? We're all human. We all sin. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes. But we're all trying to be the hero because we grow up watching heroes in the movies and stuff like that, and you have Batman and Superman and all of that. And so I think that's what people want to be. That's what I would like to be. And oftentimes when people are going through a divorce or separation or a custody battle, even though they weren't married, they're down on themselves, right? They're disappointed in themselves. They're disappointed in the other side. Sometimes they're disappointed in their own children and the way their children are behaving in the situation, and they want to get back there. And so if we can help them be that hero that they want to be and that they are, right? We all are the heroes of our life story, whether we look at it or not, right? So we try to get people to look at this more positively. Like, yeah, maybe that was a mistake. Maybe you drank too much. Maybe you got addicted to drugs, but nothing is permanent, right? We always want to move forward. We always want to be positive. Nothing today is going to change tomorrow. We're not even promised tomorrow. So if we can help people get back to doing things the right way, get back involved in their children, then they can be the hero that they want to be. And that's what we strive to achieve.
That's great. Good for you. Hey, Jonathan, it's been great talking to you today. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story and your time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
So long, everybody. Thanks for listening to 15 Minutes. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.